Ever since St Nicholas Abbey failed to ignite the 2,000 guineas, there has been one major vacancy to fill. Who will be the favourite for the Derby? None of their previous trials have produced a clear candidate, but a good performance from the winner of the Dante Stakes at York could answer that question. The Dante has become the most consistent Derby trial, with 9 winners going on to win at Epsom. Of the last 6 winners, Northlight in 2004, Motivator in 05 and Authorise in 07 have completed the Dante Derby double. So Paul, there's only 6 runners on the card that will line up in the Dante, and hopefully the race will be run to a good pace. What are your thoughts on the outcome?
Well, you're absolutely right, Lewis. There's only 6 runners, but 3 of those figure in the top 10 in the Derby market. So if we get a proper winner, not a mess of a race, got to be the next favourite for the Derby.
I think so, yeah.
Now, if you go back, it's 5 years, would you believe, since Godolphin last had a horse placed in the Derby. Think about that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's Debarwi, third to Motivator. But Chabal looks the real deal from this time. He went and won the Classic Trial at Sandown 3 weeks ago. There he beat a horse called Asmiel by 2 1/4 lengths. And that form was frank when Asmiel went and won the D Stakes at Chester last week. But this is the acid test for Chabal. Now, Aidan O'Brien, well, what do we say about him? He's won the Dante twice in the last 4 years. This time he sends over Kate Blanco. Now, okay, set aside the stable form. That's bad enough to start with. Just look at Cabaret.
Yeah.
But Kate Blanco looked anything but an odds-on shot when I saw him win a Group 2 on his final start at Fairyhouse last August. Okay, admittedly, the soft ground wasn't a help, but he still made heavy weather of the job. Looking aside from him, Coordinated Cup. Okay, he won a nice race at Newmarket, the Craven meeting, but the form's taken a bit of a knock since then, so I wouldn't actually be looking there. Now, it's hard to knock the form of Workforce. And I do admit that's mainly because there's not much form to work with. He's only run there once. It was a 7 furlong maiden at Goodwood in September, which he won by 6 lengths. But the key thing was he lost almost 6 lengths and possibly a bit more at the start. He just fell out the stalls. And if you actually look at the form of the race, the runner-up, Oasis Dancer, then went on to win a valuable sales race at Newmarket the following month. Okay, the form of those races you sometimes wonder about. They're not group races, but look at it. He beat 13 previous winners. That's pretty solid for my liking.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I do admit there's been plenty of hype about Workforce. We can't help that. But from what I've heard, he's grown into his frame this season. He's a big horse. He was going to do that. Okay, he's got a lack of big race experience. I do admit that. But that's not necessarily a problem. His trainer, Sir Michael Stout, he's not a great one for pushing and over-facing his 2-year-olds. Northlight and Tartan Bearer both won this race, and when they came to this race, they'd only raced at maiden level themselves.
Yeah, so definitely a horse with a lot of potential there, definitely Workforce. And that's Paul's selection. Okay, on to the second feature race on the card, which sees Sariska and Midday renew their rivalry from last season. Who do you reckon will come out on top in the Middleton Stakes?
Well, if you look at the form book, Sariska won the Oaks, and she won the Irish Oaks, beating Midday both times. She actually won further in the Irish Oaks. It was heavy ground, didn't suit Midday. I think she's got to really confirm the form simply because those 2 victories for Sariska, for some reason in the conditions of this race, don't actually count for penalties. Whereas poor old Midday, she's got to concede £5 for her victory in the Grade 1 when she won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf at Santa Anita last November. And I think that's just too much to ask, really.
Okay, so it's going to be Workforce in the Dante and Sariska in the Middleton for Paul. And if I was going to have a fiver on something, I would probably plump for Chabal in the Dante, which has probably given that the kiss of death, but we'll move on. And good luck to anyone who's having a bet tomorrow.